Welcome back, I'm Dr. Ruckus, and today in top 700 Mythic, we're playing another budget deck. It's all commons and uncommons, except I asked that you spend 4 rares on the Knight Errant of Eos. This is the only rare I think you need to craft here. If you like any kind of white aggressive strategy, mono white aggro, mono white life gain, Orzhov life gain, or even up to Selesnya rabbits, this card is always going to find a home. It's very powerful in low to the ground creature based decks, so if you like white and you like creatures, craft it, you won't regret it. The rest of the deck is all commons and uncommons, except for a couple random rares we picked up from the starter deck. It's like Power to the People. We have a single copy of Assemble the Players, a 2-mana enchantment. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you can cast a creature spell with power 2 or less from the top of your library. Since we don't have any other card draw engines in the deck, because that would require either rares for the 3-drop enchantment creature glimmer thing that draws you cards, or 2-drop Amalia, we really just have Knight Errant for draw power, so I think we're going to throw in a single copy of this guy and see how this does. We also have Delny, Streetwise Lookout. Never played this card before, but comes with the starter deck. It's a 3-mana 2/2 legendary creature. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Could be relevant, maybe not. But if an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So I'm seeing us getting tons of life gain triggers off this card. I've never played it myself. We'll see how it goes. And lastly, we do get one other rare from the base deck, which is the rare Surveil Land Shadowy Backstreet. Otherwise, our goal is to gain a ton of life. If we get Pridemate on 2, great. Grow Pridemate, maybe that's a potential win con, but likely this thing dies. Really, our main win con is actually through the Starscape Cleric and maybe the Marauding Blight Priest. When you get a ton of life gain triggers, and then off of that, a ton of life drain triggers, and try to drain them out. They maybe swing for lethal with a couple points here and there. But largely, we're looking to drain them. We have a single copy of Dewdrop Cure. This card is terrible in the opening hand, so you don't necessarily want to run 4 of it. But late game, if you top deck it, being able to return 2 or 3 creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield could definitely swing for lethal, especially with the Starscape Cleric type effect. Mana base is okay. I mean, we're largely leaning on white with roughly splashing black. What's nice is we can run this Secluded Courtyard because all of our black cards are actually clerics. The Sadistic Pilgrim is a cleric, the Starscape Cleric is a cleric, and the Marauding Blight Priest is also a cleric. So picking cleric off the Secluded Courtyard does cover all of our black cards, and if we have to play it on one and name like Bat or Rabbit or whatever, fine, just so be it. But roughly the mana base shouldn't be too bad. So this is what we're trying today. I did look at one other budget deck. I was looking at Boros Auras, and I was like, 1, this deck sucks. Like, who really wants to see more of that? And 2, the mana base is really tough. Like here, I don't mind paying the tap lands that gain you a life, because it's like somewhat synergistic to what we're trying to do anyway. But playing any tap lands in like a mono red aggro deck or red and white aggro deck is very painful. It just slows you down so much that I'm not even sure I can justify doing that. Okay, we're on the play. We got some stuff. And we got the Sanctifier down on 1. Double Shelter. If we face off against mono red, we'll be good to go. Again, chewing gum, hopefully it's not too annoying, but I had this cough that's stuck around for a while. We could double Shelter really early. It's not awful. Could also get the Cleric down here. I think I'll drop the Cleric here. And then we'll look to Shelter every turn after that. Plus the Cleric hits a bit harder in the air. So ideally we see a tap out this turn. It's a 1-drop. Do we see the Rage come out or not? We can't actually drop Shelter until they tap out. This is no blocks from us. They want to Rage here. Okay, we can't actually Shelter. So we're gonna Vanguard here instead, I suppose. Try to get the free combat trigger. This will force a Burst Lightning out of their hand if they have it. So they're thinking about it. Okay, first part resolves. That means they're not going to Burst Lightning. We get the next life gain trigger, get the next life drain trigger. We're not blocking. We'll go again. Down to 14. They eat it all. Not really sure what they're thinking here. They didn't burst lightning anything. They're definitely thinking about doing something, but they don't reveal what that is. Swift Spear again. We're looking for them to tap out to drop the shelter on the cleric. No blocks here. Let's see if they level up the claw. Rage goes there. Again, they have not shown us burst lightning. Do we go for it is the question. I don't really want to. We're not dead yet. We'll play the bat here, get our triggers. Resolves. It's very suspect. But they're getting kind of low here. They refuse to burst lightning, so maybe they don't have it. But again, they hesitate here with one man open. So they're on full control or they have something. They eye the bat. No burst lightning. 5 damage so far. Manual taps leave open rock face village. They want to play a creature here still? We finally see a shock, but not a burst lightning, which is crazy because burst lightning is a common. So you should craft that instead. We'd love a land off the top. Manual taps again, leaving open a single red. Dropped to 5. It's not a land. I think it's just a Sanctifier here. They're really taking their sweet time. We don't have to attack with everything. We could leave back a blocker. Let's see if they finally use it on the cleric. Okay, resolves. We get a trigger. We get another trigger here. Lethal is presented, so I think we have to present lethal here, in case they in fact don't have anything. But if they've been holding on to burst lightning or shock all game, it's got to come out now. They could have had that one earlier. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so let's see if they can top deck lethal or not. They dropped to 2. We block the non-trampler. Village there. We can block that. Can you find lethal? That's lethal presented, so last card's got to be another shock, lightning strike, or burst lightning. Or Monstrous Rage to give you trample. Oh, they hold back, so they don't have the nuts then. Or they're afraid to cut down on our side. So for us to win, we just have to land a Shelter by Ghosts. And we know they don't have burst lightning, basically, because you'd think we'd see it here. Unless they're even more cautious. Alright, we're definitely blocking here. Just in case. Drop to 4. Level up the claw. 1 mana still suspiciously open. We don't hit another land, though. Okay, I mean, we shelter here and go for the win. I guess we'll put it on the Vanguard. No stick? Okay, weird game. I mean, they forced us to play around one open mana the entire game. We could have sheltered on 2. I was really hoping they would play any 2-drop and tap out, but then we never got a chance for the rest of the game to resolve the shelter uncontested. Luckily it worked out for us, but I mean, at some point they definitely were holding shock for a long time. Meh. Okay, alright, first game with budget deck. We went from like 700 Mythic to like 600, 625 or something. This deck's going to be harder to win with than yesterday's. Yesterday's mono black deck, extremely solid. 20 removal spells, Annex. Can't go wrong with that. This one's going to be much worse by comparison. Single landers, probably not acceptable. Okay. 2 lander. We keep this. Keep the Knight Errant. Put back a single shelter. Tap land's a little rough too. But what are you going to do? Mono green. Elves. Okay. If we can resolve Knight Errant, we can get into the game. Oh, okay. Are you going to burst lightning my war creature? Nope. They're coming out hard and fast, though. We can take the fear. I think that's fine, all things considered. This thing can't attack or block yet. Okay. They bend the burst lightning. I'm hoping they don't have the next burst lightning. If we can hold on to one more turn for Knight Errant, we'll be way happier. Manual taps for green. It's the fight spell. 2 mana fight spell. 1 mana fight spell. Okay, everyone dies. Knight Errant gets worse. It's a big creature. Okay, well, that's what's going on here. Show me 2 1-drops. That would be massive if we hit it. Oh, we do. That's great. We'll take both of these. They're the better version of the... Alright, so next turn we can go double bat and Knight Errant again. And then we're kind of off to the races. They have some huge creatures in this deck. But if they just draw these mana dorks, we could potentially be okay. BC's big, but nothing's getting through the Knight Errant just yet. Okay. Yeah, game's not over. Shield by Ghost is nice, but we're doing the thing here. There are no 4-drops, so we don't need to tap the Knight Errant. Unless we really want to play one more 1-drop this turn. I think I just want to keep the blockers back, honestly. I think I'd rather just keep both blockers back this turn. So let's do this. If they fight one, we take so much damage. Maybe it's not worth it. We have 28 life to play with. Okay, we don't have to 1-drop anyway. We hit this Delney card. So this is an interesting game. I mean, their deck certainly has some power level to it. But so far, our 4/4s are able to block kind of anything we care about. The moment they get the fight spell, we're going to be a little bit screwed, though. Because I think that adds 2+1 counters, and then one of their creatures will be bigger than a 4/4. Okay, that's not the end of the world. We still have blockers. They're going to hit pretty hard. I guess we take out one of the BCs that's hitting twice here. Or we can take out the source of the issue. But we're going to have a nice shelter turn this turn. Taking 12 damage is quite a lot. Yeah, I think we just need to absorb some damage here. No blocks this time. A Johnny, eh? This could be an Ajani turn instead. A Johnny attack all, or a Johnny attack with the lifelinkers. If we get Delny down, we need one more land. I don't think it's Delny time. I think we go with Johnny here. Make a massive creature. We could get in with Knight Errant. This is about to be a 6/6, right? I think we can get in there like this. Opponent drops to 7. 3 life gain triggers. And Johnny goes up to a 6/6. This deck could have come out hard and fast, and we could have just been left behind. That's an interesting card. I could get him some life gain. And we'll eventually scale pretty well. That might be the shelter target for us. Next land is good. Let's just do all the things. So who wants to wield the shelter? I guess it's not the Ajani yet. I think we want to take out the Ooze this turn before anything else gets done. Which means shelter's going on a random flyer. I think. Scoop. We didn't even get to see the Delny dude. I was excited to see this double trigger thing happen. It's a cool card. Never been played. Roughly 500 Mythic. Playing budget. My fingers are crossed. Again, this is, I think it'd be a much worse deck than one we played yesterday, but if you're looking for upgrades and you like this color combination, like, it can be done with, you know, limited success. Amalia's so good, though. If you can shell out the rare cards to get the rare Orzhov lands and Amalia, then, like, you're going to feel really good. That deck's very fun to play, I think. All right, Yap Town. Let's see what's going on in the Yap section. Great video. Cool deck. The budget angle is nice. More of these when you can, please. I got you, man. Looks great. This is in reference to a couple days ago. That no-lander game is why Hearthstone exists. I don't know how Hearthstone works. Presumably there's no land, so you can't get mana screwed. Or like a similar resource system. So what dictates how many things... Ah, well, that's great. Now we do have shelter here, so the game's not over. And I think we basically have shelter right now, unfortunately. Which forces us out of doing other things we'd like to do. Okay, take the source of the double strike. Swing for 2. Hope they can't go land burst lightning. Even if they do, eventually, turn 4-esque, if we hit 2 more lands, we could Sunblast Healer. Nemesis to the face. Third land. Let's see. Alright, I guess it's this guy here. Keep hitting in there. Death Touch could trade with the hero. We can't block the Nemesis because we desperately need our life gain. They get the Lightning Strike. Must be nice for you. If we go hit land here, we can go Sunblast Healer, get back Shelter by Ghost, run it back. But of course now we get hit in the face with a 3/3 double striker, so it's not so desirable. We cannot block the double strike, and we kind of need the life gain, so we're eating it all here. And we're hoping to hit that top of that land. We do get it. The game's not looking great, but it's not over yet either. Kick this sucker. Give me back my shelter, you asshole. There it is. Attach it to the Pilgrim. Target the double strike source again, I think. I mean, we could target the Nemesis, but double strike is just so brutal, right? The free double strike every turn. It's 10 to 12. The game's not over. We've survived this long. Dude's got the next lightning strike lined up for us. We got the next Sunblast Healer if we can live one more turn. And we actually can block here. No, we cannot. We can't block the Nemesis because we need a life gain, and we can't block the hero because it's double strike. But we have to. Alright, so it's got to be this then. Otherwise, it's lethal. Ow. And it's lethal anyway. What a game. What a joyous game of Magic. Oh, wait. Oh, we got the life gain. Still, doesn't matter. We can't win from here. Right? I mean, we do the same thing, but the effect is not as good. Run it back. Give me my shelter. Might have to take the hero here. If we take the mouse, we are forced to block the hero. It'll be a 5/5. It's pretty sad. If we do the mouse, at least we get life gain, though. If we leave the mouse, they threaten lethal. We still have to block. We don't get any life gain, though. We reset the hero. I don't think it matters. I think we lose no matter what. Opponent just has a better deck. The most played deck. The most played deck in Standard. The highest winningest and the most played deck in Standard. Well, that's kind of interesting. Oh, we can't even gain life, right? Because the Nemesis... Did it hit us or not? It did, yes. That's game. It's game every which way to sundown. Opponent hesitating as if we're not completely tapped out. As if this isn't the 1000th game they've played that plays out identically the same. That is unnecessary. Vastly unnecessary. Okay, but that's okay. Sometimes you're gonna go like that. Nothing you can do about it. We're still top 600-ish Mythic with a budget deck. I think it's okay. I want to ask, why no Terror of the Peaks in the Dragons tribal deck I played a couple days ago? I don't remember off the top of my head. So the dragons I opted for were, first off, the 4-drop dragon, which is nice because you can curve into it on turn 3 if you hit the 2-mana dragon accelerant. And then the other ones provide card value, right? So the Dracosaur, it's like exile the top 2 cards of your library every subsequent turn, which is very good. So it's extra draw 2 every turn, basically. And then the Dragonhawk bird thing has a similar effect. I think for every 4 power or more creature, which is at least 1 off itself, you exile that card and can play it. And if you don't play it, you deal damage with it. This is definitely good enough. So both those provide some pseudo card draw, which otherwise you don't have that effect in the deck. I thought that was very important. If you wanted to trim some of the legendary dragon birds, because they are legendary, you could throw in a Terror of the Peaks, but I think Terror of the Peaks doesn't trigger on itself, right? Every subsequent creature that enters is where you get the damage pings from. And, yeah, I mean, there's already a lot of killing potential in the deck. I just wanted to make sure we had enough cards flowing. Pixies. I mean, nothing to do about that. Shelter by Ghosts, not very good against them. Because they can, we don't want to put this on a 1 or 2 drop. We want to throw this on a Knight Errant, because the -3/-3 off of Nowhere to Run is going to chomp right through it. They're reading the cards. They're the same. They're literally identical. One of them is flying, though. You should probably kill the flyer. Rick De La Garza says, hey man, sweet deck on the Dragon Tribal. What happened to your editor? Looks like you're doing pretty good with that one. It's difficult to study statistics on your YouTube videos because the better the thumbnail you create, initially the higher click-through rate it has, which looks like, this is a good thumbnail. But over time, the YouTube algorithm shows it out to more and more people who, by definition, will be less and less interested, right? All 8 billion people on planet Earth aren't interested in Magic the Gathering. So the more you fan out, the fewer people will click on a thumbnail, which lowers the click-through rates. We want what? Cleric here? And it looks like we go land Knight Errant. Or sorry, Creature Knight Errant. And then same with audience retention. The better your video does, the more it gets shown to more people who inherently watch it less. So statistics, YouTube statistics are actually kind of difficult to evaluate. But as far as I could tell, it doesn't really seem to be a big difference in audience retention or click-through rate using the editing service I was using for generating thumbnails and for basically cutting out the dead space. The other thing that cutting out the dead space did is that it didn't allow this talking right here. Normally I would sit here in silence and wait for them to take as long as they take, and then the editor just snips it out. But this allows me to interact with you guys, and I think I liked that a lot more. One, it makes it more fun for me, and two, I think it will be good for the channel long term, I suspect. So yeah, I let him know that I really appreciated his work and the work we had done together, but it seemed like for the time being, I would not need the services, and he was very friendly about it and said, sure, totally understand. Let me know if you ever need help with anything. I'm here. So that's what happened there. Like, this guy's taking forever. All of this would normally just be dead space cut out. We might drop the Shelter by Ghosts, because it's not very good. It's okay on the Knight Errant. We want to keep the Knight Errant. We like the Primate. We honestly like the Johnny, too. I don't think we need the Shelter by Ghosts. I think we just out-creature them to death. Out-creature and life-gain them to death. Like, we can go Hawk, Primate, Knight Errant here. Cast it all. Gain a ton of life. So that's the, they want to flash in the, nowhere to run on the Knight Errant and trade with the Otter, basically. We're not interested in that. The more creatures we have, the more we get Knight Errant, the easier life gets for us. They bounce the Knight Errant. That's interesting. We're definitely going to run that back. Trigger, trigger. They can't beat this board state. I don't think it's possible. We just run out as many Knight Errants as they want, and there's no sweepers. The duo is good. We just keep wanting that effect. We'll take the single Blight Priest. What do you think? One drop? We could take another one drop too. It's cheaper to play with the next Knight Errant. This gives us an interesting win con. We don't need to do anything. We will win the game from here no matter what. I think it's impossible for them to beat us from this position. Again, we could discard Shelter by Ghosts. Like, the creatures alone with Knight Errant should be enough to win. Maybe we'll Blight Priest this turn, just turn on the Jets. I still think they likely have nowhere to run in hand. So if we want to bait that out first, we could. Again, it doesn't matter. This game is already done. All right, to the face. No blocks. They still want to know where to run here. And we can just out life gain anything they want to do. So we play the Priest. It does die immediately, I think. So I think we're going to start here. And they scoop. Yeah, they know there's no way out. There's no way out. Infinite Knight Errant. Like, that deck. Pixie's deck is very good against a lot of things, but this deck specifically, it's not very good against. If we get at all a foothold into the game, it's essentially impossible. They can't nitpick us to death because we have too much life gain. And with Knight Errant card draw, like, we have an infinite series of creatures to deploy. We can only pick up and put things back down so many times if we run out of gas. We've done pretty well today. What are we, like 3-1 or 4-1 or something? On the play with 3 lands. That's nice. I'm reading this comment from HM Vol Banana. Oh, I feel like I've read a comment from him before. Have I read this exact one? I don't think so. Ask and you shall receive. Behold, the ultimate BO1 standard tiny all caps deck. Does it die to mono red? Almost guaranteed. Hold on, we gotta put a pause in this epic story time. I guess we just go with Johnny here. and just do that route. Meow. This is a pretty underwhelming meow for the Mighty Ajani's Pridemate. Does it die to mono red? Almost guaranteed. Does it lose to control? With certainty. However, does it allow you to bamboozle all the graveyard grindy setup requiring decks? The rest brings, along with a 12/12 out of nowhere and ridiculous board boosting. I don't know what board boosting is. What is this deck? Confounding Riddle. Are they gonna Abuelo's Awakening us, I guess? Trigger twice is cool. That's pretty cool. Or we just get the extra life gain. The extra damage. What do you want to do next turn? I think the Blight Priest is better here. Alright, gain a life. Take our triggers. I think we have to win by turn 4, or else the Abuelo's Awakening Omniscience, and then if they infinite combo, then we lose on the spot. Oh, the bold attack. So this will allow us to have the Lurker Bat trigger twice, which I guess is fine. I mean, I guess they can counter this too, and that's also fine. I'm not really worried about it. I only care if they can Abuelo's Awakening on turn 4, and then I'll be sad. I don't remember if the Awakening is double whites. I think it's not. I think it's just 3 and a white. Alright, they mill Arcavios. We don't see Omniscience down there, so that's not so bad. We might have one more turn to get this done. When it drops to 10. Trigger. Drops to 9. We surveil away a land. Knight Errant. I think it's too slow here. I think we need to win next turn. Like, even a land for the kicked Starscape Cleric could be good. In fact, that might be what we do here. I don't think we have time for this. I think we have to win next turn. Shelter by Ghost, I also don't think we need, although if they play the blocker, it would kind of suss out lethal for us. If they play the Pixie, yeah, that could guarantee lethal for us. Okay, I think that's worth keeping over the kick to land for the Starscape Cleric. Let's keep that. They could play any random blocker here in a last-ditch attempt, and we could take it and swing for lethal. Like that, exactly. One mana. I mean, if they have the unsummon, we want the life gain trigger. We don't want to bounce the Pridemate. I guess let's put it on good old Delny. Okay, I think we're successful here. Unless they have Elspeth's Smite, because there's no stick yet, but now there is. So we could have the bounce, the Surveil bounce, yeah. Fair enough. Drop to 2. We get 2 life gain triggers and then 2 life drain triggers, I believe. 5/12 Mythic. We're doing just fine with this. Yeah, I think we can call it there before we start losing. I think it's a good enough place to pause. Some final deck tech thoughts. Yeah, I think it's about right. I don't think I'd really change anything. The mana base is kind of as good as you can get. The Courtyard hitting both clerics or all clerics is nice. The single rare Surveil in from the freebie starter deck's okay. Scarbrands, tap lands suck because we have 12 1-drops, but it kind of does the thing. We're not trying to run too many swamps. We're mostly white. Yeah, win con's largely cleric, but you can't just beat stuff over the head. Shelter by Ghost is one of the best removal spells in standard. It's uncommon. If you have 12 random 1-drops that gain you life into the only rare that you have to craft the deck, Knight Errant, that sequence is very good. And yeah, I don't think I'd change too much. You could throw in Gorehounds for more draw value, but we like gaining life as much as possible. Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is the premier budget Orzhov deck. Spend 4 rares on Knight Errant and go to town. That's all you gotta do. Have a great day. Like and subscribe, leave more comments, and I will see you in the next one.